Okay.
All right. So one of the things since we started Fight for Our Funds, one of the things we've gotten consistently is we have news stations, media outlets reaching out, and they want to talk to people. They want to hear. I think everyone understands the timeline of what happened, but the value is in the victims. So like yourself and myself, who lost our money or had our money taken away from us for an extended period of time. So my hope with this is to tell as many stories that are, you obviously are more than just a line item on a Google sheet or an Excel sheet. So if you could, tell us, how do you pronounce your name? Is it
Sharnice?
Sharnice. Okay, that was my guess. So Sharnice, my name's Zach Jacobs. I started Fight for Our Funds along with a handful of friends that I met through Reddit, and I'm trying to help document this and get this out to as many people as I can. So if you could walk me through, how you got into this whole mess, how much you lost, how much you got back, and then just sort of lay it on me.
Okay. So I'm Sharnice Scott. I actually got introduced to Yada some years back from one of my good friends and her husband, who they were returned all of their money. And so I think what happened is my money, I had initially had a large sum in there, and I kind of took some of it out just over time, but I left like $15,180 in the account, and that was going to be the money I was going to use because I was going to buy a house. And so that's why I wanted to leave that there, and the other money I was just putting it up in my account and my kids' account. And so I got the money. I got a lump sum of about $100,000. Uh, Lawsuit because I was in a head-on car collision and was hurt. I ended up having a tear in my shoulder. Ended up having a bruised ribs. I had a lot of things because I was hit head on by this older gentleman who went through a light. And so I went through over a year of therapy, went through a lot of learning to kind of work my arm again. It's kind of multiple tests. It's still a lifetime injury that I will always have in my shoulder. Not being the same. I lost my career. I was doing EMT, firefighting, doing a bunch. So kind of lost all of that, those dreams and going in that direction. Because I was in the middle of training and we were in the middle of nationals when it happened. So that all just kind of went away per se. Had a concussion, just went through a lot of hospitalization, a lot of stuff. So that money was gonna. I was as a single mother. I was divorced and single mom of three. I had at the time I had one in college. I had one that was going on to the Air Force. That went to the Air Force. I'm sorry, and then I had still had one in high school. So I put that away and I said, you know what, I'm gonna buy a home versus us renting, and it'll be for us. So I put that there for a down payment, had everything set up. And it comes time for me to move forward, and I don't have any money available that I had saved. And so I kept trying to take the money out, and I was like, I'm trying to take it out and move it, and it wasn't coming out. No one had any answers or anything, and that was in May of last year. No one had anything, and I was like, they were like, oh, it's gonna get settled away or squared away. Never got squared away, and here it is. I feel like I wasted someone's time, a realtor's time, doing all of this because I had no answers. I had nothing. I just was like, it's coming. Never came. So since I've been getting in on the court settings, proceedings, and just listening in, but just kind of reaching out to whoever and everyone and whatever just to try to find out. And I was getting a runaround, calling Evolve. The numbers they were giving us were pointless because I guess Rust is the company they utilized. They were completely rude, disregarded, had no regard for our time, our money, our investment. That this just is our money, basically. It was just in the ecosystem, it shows you have 15,180, but we have none of it. But since I've been with Yada, I've always had Evolve as my bank on the account banking information. So I was just so confused as to why they didn't have any of my money and no one could give me anything. Even contacting Yada, I think when they realized it was an issue or it was becoming an issue, they would respond, a day or two later, but they really didn't have any information. And so here it is. No one could tell me anything. I also now could really use the money because I got laid off when the government cuts happened. I was a person that was affected by it. So working just kind of odd jobs because I've been in psych for many years, but one the opportunity, one thing mess up, and then I ended up getting a job working from home and doing suicide and suicide prevention with 988 crisis line. And then the layoffs happened. My department was one of the layoffs that, or one of the departments that was identified as they couldn't move forward with. And I had been with them for 4 years. So just a lot of like losses and a lot of things that I could utilize my money for. Um, having, like I said, one in college and one off, and then one from high school, wanting to buy a home. And now I'm just starting back over saving, but, you know, saving is tough in this economy. So having that jump start and having that money that saved and also money that I was putting with it was a big thing, a big deal.
Did you? So there's been a couple times over the past year where I think initially, like I got back like $100 the first time round, and then they haven't had a single penny of yours in either of those two distributions.
No, not one penny came out in any of those.
Oh,
No one knows where my money is. And when I did speak with someone, I mean, I was in that one meeting, not this last one, I think the one before, I did hear Evolve make a comment about the money all being sent to them in one bulk. So they're not sure whose was whose. So I'm assuming I was one of the ones that they didn't know whose was whose because none of them, I've called Evolved. I was calling before the CEO quit and everyone started quitting. And when they started quitting, I started saying, oh, brother, we're doomed because when people start quitting, it's because people know things. I feel, and they're hiding things, and so it was just no accountability. I felt like on their behalf, no one was held accountable. They were just able to take off and quit. And in my mind, and it could be wrong, you guys are quitting with all of our money. Where is it? Because it's like no one's following up, and I don't think we weren't getting what we deserved as people who, are working class people in society that have saved our money for, have lives, have families. I just don't think we got back what we deserved. But I didn't get 1 cent, and my best friend, who's her and her husband did, her mom didn't get one penny back either. And they held no, I'm sorry, they sent her 25 cents.
which is
Disrespectful.
worse than zero.
Yeah. So she was very upset. She said they wasted trees. And so she had like over $6,000 in there. And I told her, I said, when I get information, I'll pass it on to you. But, here she is at retirement age. They took the money she had saved. So
Well, I mean, I think it's a common story. It's a sad story. Um, it's always really great to be able to fill in the color of what's really going on. And I think it's the same goes for a lot of people of this losing our savings was not, it was a bad thing that happened, but it's happening at the speed of life. And there's so much stuff happening that, yes, we lost money, but the amount of times I've heard how it came at the worst time possible,
it
or,
did.
missed a wedding, missed buying a house, missed your car breaks. I mean, so it's,
Worst time ever. It did. It was terrible. And I was just like, here it is. I thought this was a good thing because, Yada's giving back and your money can make money. And I just thought about I was like, I went through hell. That money was kind of like off of my blood, sweat, and tears. Like I took a lot of losses. I was really hurt. And I got that money. And then it's like, here I am saving it. And someone just took it. I even thought about like, maybe I should reach out to my attorney and see, but so many people are in litigations that it's like, is it gonna, I want to be one more person in litigation. Can I even afford to be in litigations right now? No.
yeah.
So I felt my heart goes out to to myself, but for sure everyone else. And I sometimes I'm like, here I am, I'm upset because $15,000 is a lot of money to be given away. But I just think about how many people lost so much more.
Yeah. Well, I will say, you're the first person I've talked to who the money was directly related to bodily harm and actual suffering you went through. So losing that is a double slap in the face.
Yeah.
Because you already went through hell to get that money,
Yeah.
to have it taken away.
Yeah. And the pain I went, and that's what I think that was the main thing I was telling my mom. I said, and she was, she was there. My family was there. They know what I went through. I was like, to be injured at that level, at a not at fault accident of yours, for someone blowing through a light and hitting you head on, and a brand new car totaled out. No car, no, all of the things I went through, all of the trials and tribulations, the pain, the concussion, the passing out, the throwing up, the hospitalization, can't move my arm, all of those things I had to think about. And it's like, for that to be taken in, it was absolutely a slap in the face. It was like, I've already suffered enough for that. That wasn't even enough for what I suffered and how I suffered. So to take that, it was like, okay, we'll just add to it.
Well,
That's what
it's a very powerful story, and I look forward to sharing it. And I look forward to sharing stories like this from other people. And we'll hold hope. I think one day that this, I don't think it'll be enough to just get back our money.
no.
But I think one day this situation will be cleared up, and I hope it is for you. So
Yeah, you as well.
I appreciate you letting me share this story, and I will share it with you once I post it. And I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing what you're doing for all of us.
Of course. Well, have a great weekend.
You as
Thank you
well.
for connecting, and we'll talk soon.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.